Hey, what's up, guys? Jaydaniel here with my co-host Victor, and this is the Sales at Home podcast. Uh, we're gonna go into something, just a little recap over the past couple weeks. I think we've had a lot of fun people come on. A lot of cool topics we've covered. Uh, episode 20. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, 20 episodes. So it's almost a full half a year doing this. And we've talked to a lot of cool people. We've had a lot of really influential people on the podcast. People ask us out of nowhere just to come on. We've had some really interesting topics that we've talked about. One of my favorites was episode 6. And it's like real recognize real. That's one of my favorite episodes that we've done. I think we really went into like what success looks like, and I that's what I love about this. It's like, yeah, we'll have fun guests on like we did last week, right? And we'll talk about DM messages and all that stuff. But then we'll
Episode
have
15.
yeah, and then we'll have like actual fun conversations about sales and how to succeed and the little things that we can do to prepare ourselves to be the best that we can be. And I think we challenge a certain thought that one, that something has to be a certain way, that a podcast about sales has to be a certain way. And two, we also challenge the thought that, if you put in the work, like there's sky's the limit. And we push that and we make sure that everybody knows that like, no, this is for real. Like we're not just messing around, we're doing this.
I think there's a key underlying like message or commonality between most of them, right? And it's just like this whole idea of getting 1% better every day.
Yeah.
I think because if you really look at sales, like bro, like if you really look at sales, because not everybody has like sales training and this or that. Like if you really look at it's just getting 1% better every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like all the people at the highest level that are really like doing it, it's always like, what's their day look like? And it's just all these things that are they're leaning towards growth. And I think that's in my opinion, of the episodes we've had, I think every episode offers an opportunity to like, or at least some kind of like action step or something that you could listen to and maybe think about or try that would lend itself to 1% growth. So I think it's been great so far.
Yeah. And I think we've gotten better as we go along. I
Hmm.
think the chemistry is obviously there. I think that we kind of flow off of each other a little bit better now than we did before. And
Hmm.
it
Just
feels
cutting each other
right.
off at me. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Like, and I love it. Who would you say your favorite guest has been so far?
Oh, that's tough, bro. Um, it's tough. Probably. So I mean, there's different guests that I like for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
I think in terms of energy, like Jacqueline, like she was
Yeah.
just like just on fire. Um, I think uh I think Rahul, bro. I really like the one with Rahul because it was just so relevant, dude. Like I was in the agent space for a while,
Yeah.
and like you know what I mean? You can tell like this whole thing of like, real recognize real, like you can tell he's done it, at the highest level.
I was
Um,
gonna say Raul for you too, because I mean that was the one where you said to me, you're like, bro, I took like 2.5 pages of notes.
yeah. Oh, dude, that was good. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I was taking notes on that one, bro. That was really
yeah,
good.
yeah. Like and he was one who just came to us and was like, he came to me and was like, hey, I see you got a podcast. I'd love to come on and talk to you guys.
Hmm.
I'm like, sweet. Like this dude's doing huge numbers and he's running a great company and he wants to come talk to us. Bet, let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? So for
Yep.
me, it was really cool to have him on and the energy that he brought and just the knowledge. It was so much knowledge, man. And like, I think all of our guests specifically have been really cool, like for their own reasons. Like we had, JD on, and JD means so much to us. And like that just like a lot of who we are in sales comes from, his direction and guidance. And that's awesome. And then, we had Zach on, and Zach's kind of like a gunslinger,
I love
and
that.
he
Like,
fit he fit us perfectly with what we were trying to do, and it was perfect. And then we had Raul on, and it was just like a knowledge bomb. It's like he just dropped like insane amounts of knowledge and worth value
mhm.
on that in that episode. I think one of the ones that surprised me was Nico.
Oh, Nico's a beast too, bro.
Yeah, Nico's a beast. Like, and I always knew that, but
He's a
you
quiet
always
beast.
like
He
say
just
what?
Nico's a quiet beast, bro. He'll just put
Yeah,
his head down.
you always look at these people and you think like, all right, they're doing all this stuff and they're making all this money and they're doing all this good business, and you sort of put your own image of them in your mind. Even if you talk to them like briefly, through messaging or whatever, you kind of put
Mhm.
a little image of them in your mind. But sitting there listening to him talk to us and like relate to us, and I'm like, he's just like us. He just had success and has found his formula and is now teaching that formula. Like all he did was put in the work, like nonstop. You listen to his story, he's like, yeah, I sucked at this, and then I got better, and then I got even more better, and then I started telling people this is how you do it, and then I started helping other people get better. And so it's like that's crazy to me. Like just listening to his story, I'm like, man, there's no reason that anybody out here can't have that same success story if they put in that work.
Agreed.
It's inspiring as hell.
Dude, like, so I'm 24. 6 years ago, I got involved, like, in sales and personal development, all this stuff. And like my biggest takeaway, because the biggest thing is like, I want to be a millionaire, but I've never met one. What does one look like? What do they smell like? Are they fire breathing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's when you start like meeting and interacting with these people, you realize, oh, okay, cool. Like, they're a millionaire in money. This guy's a millionaire in fitness. I'm a millionaire in this area, right? And it's
Yeah.
like you start to understand, okay, cool, but they're also flawed. They're normal people. And it was funny because after that, after like, I turned 18 and I started looking at that, I started realizing normal people in my family, in my life that I didn't really think much of, they were millionaires. But you just never know,
Yeah.
and if you look at the actual number, bro, I think it's something like uh I think there's like 8 million millionaires in the US, or like 10 million. No, I think it's like 30 million. I gotta
Hmm.
Google this. It's a big fucking number. Like it really isn't that like
Out
how
of reach.
many millionaires in USA? Just the US. We're not even talking the planet. There are 56 million millionaires in the globe. There's 22 million millionaires in the US.
Wow.
Holy shit. Yeah, dude, there's 22 million millionaires in the US, bro. Like
Crazy.
they're normal people, and
Yeah.
a lot like, and there's always like the 1% of the 1% that are,
Mhm.
you know, 220 pounds, chiseled to the bone, amazing relationships, like great people, billionaire, right? But
Yeah.
most of them have a lot of flaws, bro. It's been my biggest takeaway. Like
Yeah.
it's just the things I see in common between them, correct me if I'm wrong, is like the work ethic and like the
Mhm.
why, just having a strong work ethic and why. And hmm,
A lot of fails. A lot of
yeah,
fails.
yeah, just
It's like,
refusal to quit.
yeah, it's like a lot of fails and a lot of like, I really sucked at this when I first started,
Mhm.
and I just didn't give up. Like you said, refusal to quit. And I think that, you know, that's the difference that separates a lot of us from doing anything. I mean, you get on your sales calls and you're like, okay, well, how long have you been looking into this? And they're like, well, I've been looking into this for like 6 years. 6 years?
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Come
Like
on, Becca.
you quit. You know what I mean? Like you gave up.
Hmm.
Somewhere in there you gave up, and it became, oh yeah, I'm doing this, but you're really not doing it. And I think that's the difference between a millionaire success and a regular person success is like they're like, no, this sucks, but I'm gonna keep at it.
It's so crazy you say that, bro. I was talking to a lady today actually on a sales call, and like that was literally, I was like, how long have you been looking into this? She said 22 years. I was like, okay. So, and she started talking like technical terms, right? She started walking me through the entire, she's looking for a course on how to do this stuff. She knows
Uh-huh.
the entire technical process. She's telling me all the details, specifics. I'm like, great. How many, deals, transactions have you done? Well, none. Like, oh, that's it's like I'm not even judging you, but can I be honest? And it's like, I think over time you start to understand that more. It's like this people think like millionaires are perfect, and because they're not a millionaire and they're not perfect, they can't start because they're not perfect. But nobody's perfect. You just get closer to perfection by
Yeah.
not knowing what the fuck you're doing and figuring it out, you know?
Yeah. I think perfection is the action that gets you closer to your goal and being consistent at it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's definitely yeah, yeah, 100%.
yeah, it's perfection is that consistent effort. That's perfection. Because if you become perfect, your goal wasn't big enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you reach perfection, you've fallen short. So
It,
it's like if
mhm.
it's like
Re-
let's actually put a goal that's worth attaining and then let's raise that bar.
Oh man, now we're getting into the now who's that guy? I think it was Earl Nightingale. He's like
Uh,
success is the it's a big word. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. I think that's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah,
You know, uh yeah, bro.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think
So Nico kind of showed me a lot of that, and then we had Jacqueline on, and she's a fireball, and she's about to blow up, dude.
oh yeah, for
She's
sure.
about to blow for sure, and I'm glad to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I'm glad to be on
Hmm.
that level. And then so last week's episode, I know we met off camera and we talked a little bit about it
Hmm.
um with Reem and Natalie that came in, and they were talking about, you know, guys in their DMs and what it means to be a woman in sales. And I know for us, it was eye-opening for both of us, because as soon as we get back into our offers, then we see the evidences of these things.
Once you see that shit, bro, it's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is
And
it?
I'm like, wow, even more so. This is
Yeah,
crazy. This is
yeah.
crazy. Like, I just want to slip dude the link to this video. Like, you should watch that. But like,
No, that's crazy. It's
it's crazy.
I don't I don't know, bro. For me, it's the equivalent of seeing like a hot girl on like Instagram and like like just commenting like thirsty stuff when you've never spoken to her. It's just weird,
Yeah.
you know. I think
Yeah.
that's just it's just weird, you know. Um, that's yeah, bro. You saw that message?
Yeah. And then he was just like, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. You're the kind of woman that I would love to have as my wife. I need you to teach me real estate. It's like first, like I get it, right? You're the
Yeah,
most beautiful woman in the world. You're the kind of woman I'd want for my wife. Fine. If you're gonna
yeah,
be thirsty, be all the way thirsty. And then
yeah,
be like, oh, I want you to teach me real estate and wholesaling because I need to make money. Bro, you like talked her up and then downplayed yourself in the same message.
yeah.
You
Gotta work
loaded
on
it up and then
process.
shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, we gotta work on his scripting.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta he needs some NEPQ for bringing up chicks.
No, it's crazy, bro. But I
Yeah.
think I don't know. I think that goes into like a society thing because that's becoming more normal, you know?
Mhm.
Just weirdos in general. I think that's becoming more I don't know if it maybe social media is just making it more public, but
I could
I
say
don't know.
that. It's hard to gauge, right? Because like weirdos back before social media were just weirdos, and they were just weird, and they were always weird. But now these
Yeah.
people have a platform to be weird on the platform, and people that you
Yeah.
didn't know were weird before, they were just weird by themselves, are now weird in public on
Yeah,
this.
now they have a follow now they have millions of people following them who aspire to
Exactly.
be just like them.
Exactly.
It just becomes
And
a
it's like, oh yeah, look at how I sell these shoes, or I make these clothes. But now let me be weird and put out all my ideologies. One of the phenomena I think that's crazy to me is that these like micro celebrities, right? Where you'll have people who are famous for a time period, or they're famous for being married to someone, or they're famous for a little bit of like internet fame, and then they'll start saying something, and then people start taking that as law.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that just starts spreading around, and it's like
bro. But
crazy.
bro, you know what though? Like those same people that listen to somebody don't even question it and take that on as their new belief
Yeah,
are the same people that comment on under somebody they've never spoken to's post saying you're the most like whatever the fuck, you know?
yeah,
Like
true.
I think you know, I think it's just Because, dude, when I started my YouTube channel, right? Like, I remember, like, in the comments, like, you get so much hate and people are just coming at you. You know what I mean? And it's like, those are the same people. It's, in my opinion, I think 90% of people are, there's, you know what I mean? Like, they're just fucked. Like, especially, and this is just my opinion, like, but, um, communism's a real thing. The US is headed in that direction, and, a lot of those guys are fucked. You know, I think that's why personal development in this industry is so good because like it is in a lot of ways like a gateway to help people like better their stuff because it's pretty bad.
I think the downfall of social media is the the death of original thought, right? So it's groupthink now.
Yeah.
Social media has brought that along, and because of that, people don't have original thought, which means they can't reason and they don't have reasoning skills. So if you don't have an original thought and you can't reason, then anything someone says to you, you're going to automatically assume as this is the truth, this is golden, right? So
Hmm.
because you don't have an original thought yourself and you can't reason through it, you're going to be led down whatever path you want. And then anything that does come to your mind, you're going to end up just doing it because you think, oh, this is great, this is law. Now because you followed somebody else and they're like, what they say is great, now in your own way you're like, now what I say is great too, because I can't reason through this is probably something I shouldn't say.
Hmm. Doesn't it feel like society like wants you to be that way though? Like to be thoughtless. Because I mean, no offense to people, if you're listening, like you're not this stupid, but you got to be pretty stupid to listen to the fucking news and say that is the truth, that is everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like society almost wants you to do that. That's kind of like, especially people who are coming into like sales. Like, you see a lot of those like, you can tell they're always the same way, right? And it's society wants them to be that way.
Let's simplify that though. I mean, look at what we refer ourselves to in sales. We're lions, or wolves, or bears,
Mhm.
right? What's
Yeah.
the opposite of all of those? Sheep.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Society
Sheep. Exactly.
society wants us to be sheep. They want
Yeah.
us to blindly just follow the herd because that's what keeps things moving. That's what keeps industries moving. That's what keeps, products on the shelves is people just blindly following without any reasoning or anything of themselves. So that's why
Mhm.
when you come into sales, you work on personal development, you work on reasoning skills, you work on all of the things that make you a wolf. They didn't call them the wolf of Wall Street for nothing, right?
Right.
Wolves, everything that you talk about, if you see any graphic that you see with a quote about sales, there's a lion, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's a bear or there's a wolf. I mean, what did Kobe say? I know he was quoting somebody else, but he was like, listen, if you see me in a fight with a bear, help the bear, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's the it's the persona that like now I'm not a sheep anymore. I'm a
Yeah.
predator and I'm going after what I want, and that's my prey, and I'm going to take it. But sheep can't do that. And that's what society wants. Society doesn't want a bunch of wolves running around. It doesn't function that way. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like the balance of things. But the problem is there's a lot of sheep.
A fuck ton of sheep.
So any wolves stick out and any wolves stand out. But there's lots of room for there to be more
Canceled.
wolves. Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get canceled. Hey guys, we're we
We'll
just
just start
started.
another podcast.
I think we've been pretty PG up until now. Um, but fuck, I was gonna make a great point. It almost slipped my mind, but I remember now. So like with sales, bro, the, don't you think like sales in general, bro? Like you're literally just learning how to think, like really think on your feet, how to question things, how to analyze. Because like that's really what you're doing, right? Is this person lying to me?
even more
What do they
importantly,
really mean?
even more
Yeah,
importantly, I think you're learning how other people think.
yeah, yeah, one hundred
Yeah.
percent,
And how to respond to how other people think.
100%, and
Yeah.
how to, yeah, and that's a very cerebral process. So I think like it's funny because you have like that book Think and Grow Rich, right? But like it's
Mhm.
true, right? It's so much of it is just having a thought process. Hell, I play a lot of basketball and like the higher level basketball players. It's you have the guys who are athletic freaks, but there's always the guy who's 7'3" or 4 who can't even play a game to save his life because he, he
Mhm.
doesn't have much of a, or doesn't make it to the NBA, right? It's the thought process that allows like all the skills to work. And
Mhm.
I think with sales, the more you develop that thought process, the more effective you are. You know, I think that's what it comes back to. Like the
For sure.
modern day lion, alpha, whatever, is just somebody who's able to really like think on their feet. And you put, you know what I mean? And then you throw muscles and all this stuff on top of that, and that's a fearsome thing, right? But there's so many meatheads who are stupid that can't think that
You know
get
what I want to add to that too.
uh-huh.
It's not just a thought for the modern day like alpha, right? And or the
Hmm.
line, right? It's
Uh-huh.
also a control of emotions.
Hmm.
If you have control of your emotions and you can harness them and use them when you want them to be used, the way you want them to be used, that's
Hmm.
like true alpha. It's like and it takes thought, right? It takes a lot of
Yeah.
thought, it takes a lot of practice. But I think a lot of times you've got people who are out here just slinging stuff, just just like, oh, this is who I am, blah 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 blah. Like
Yeah.
and they're wild with their emotions, and you can tell they're reckless. And those people, you're like, man, you could be really good if you just learn to like simmer down a little bit. And I think that there's a lot of those. We see that a lot in sales. You see, like there's tiers, right? There's the people
Yeah.
you know are never going to accomplish anything because their head's not in the game, right? Then you got the people who are decent, but they need a little help. And then you got the people who are good, but they're just struggling for that one thing to push them over because they don't work hard or they're not harnessing their emotions. And then you have the top tier level people who are either good and getting better or great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Um, man, dude, the whole emotions thing, bro, like that's isn't that what we're doing with sales? Like if you can't do that with yourself, it's gonna be hard to do that with somebody else, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you're people are you're controlling their emotional state,
Mhm.
right? Like they hear the price, there's a certain emotion they're feeling. They you know what I mean? Like they're going through their goals, they're going through like what they haven't done. Like you're you're literally just managing their emotions for them with questions and your tone and all this stuff, you know? So it's crazy. Um who should be our next guest? Who's an ambitious what's an ambitious goal that we should have that the audience could look forward to?
No, man. I mean, I
We get
feel
Dan
like
Henry on. Dan Henry, we want you on this podcast.
that would be
Be
great.
dope. Bro, Dan Henry's a beast. He's huge too. When I was in Costa Rica, he was one of the speakers.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think he was the only guy that took a picture with like everybody, bro. Like he didn't say no
Yeah.
to anybody. No, Dan's really
Huh.
cool. And he just started a company. Actually like it's like closer. He basically it's like what Sales Mentor was doing. Like
Yeah.
like they're just training closers.
I didn't know
So
that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh bro, he's like going all in on it. He wants to make it like $100 million company. He's
Wow.
like solely focused on that. Um, he hired yeah, he hired like the world's best copywriter's
Wow.
daughter
Yeah.
uh to like grade one of his like webinars, and he has an hour-long video where they're that the actual coaching call he paid probably 5 to 6 figures for is on like his YouTube channel. So man, we should get him on. That'd be dope.
That
That
would be
that 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 could be our audacious goal for like a guest.
yeah.
That's my audacious goal. Who do you
Yeah.
want to get on?
Dan Henry would be a good one. Um, I think I don't have anyone particularly in mind, but I think we've had a lot of business owners, and
Mm-hmm.
I like pulling.
Influencer, bro. We gotta
Yeah,
get
as I was just thinking that getting an influencer, someone who's actually like, and it doesn't even have to be in sales. It could
like a
be
model, bro.
anything.
We get a female model, we get a male model. Just some kind of what like a Gymshark athlete, bro. What about you know who Bradley Martin is?
I've heard Brad Martin. Yeah,
You know Brad the buff guy that everybody says he's on steroids?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we should get him on.
Any like I think that
That'd be dope.
what we've tapped into is finding people at the top of their game or
Mm-hmm.
people who are like doing well in their craft and
Yeah.
and capitalizing on that because it's all the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing and how they no matter what their industry is, like the work that it takes to get there is all the same. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's all the same. Like even when we had Travis on, I loved having Travis on
Travis is a
because
beast.
not only is he like
Yes.
an awesome dude, he's like got it. He's got it. You know what I mean? It's all here. It's all in his head, and all he's got to do is put in the work, and it's there. And he's doing exactly what he sets out to do. And I
Yep.
love it. I love it. That's success. You don't got to be, a multimillionaire to be successful, but he's
Hmm.
killing it in his role. He's killing it because he knows exactly what he's doing, exactly why he's doing it, and he put the
Yep.
effort out. That's amazing to
Yep. Oh no, Travis is a homie, bro. I mess with him. He's doing it. Um, yeah, bro. Dude, I think for anybody watching, like we have a lot of ideas and plans for who we want to bring on. So
me. Yeah.
um just what's that saying? Keep your seatbelt on. Stay
Yeah.
stay on your seat. Like it's gonna get good. So
Keep it locked.
um,
So
you know.
here's one thing that I would love. I would love to have more questions from watchers and viewers, and
Hmm.
that they would like to know, or even things about us they would like to know, or guests that they would love to have on. I would love to have viewers let us know who they want to have on. It'd be fun
Dude,
for us to kind of like go after people.
yeah, bro, fuck what we want. Why don't y'all put in the comments who you want to see on a podcast episode?
Yeah,
We'll make it
that'd be
happen.
great. It would be great. I mean, because yeah, we could sit here and have people that we want to talk to on all day, and we will, because it's our podcast.
Elon Musk. Fuck Twitter. Our podcast is more important.
But at the same time, like, I'd love to have value coming to the people who are watching from some
Hmm.
of the people that they want to have us talk to. And I think it's great. And there's no high or low, but I mean, we've got some pretty high level people that have come in already, and I
Hmm.
think that it's pretty quality. I mean, what do you think about like merch?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Freaking. Uh, I mean, I'm down for merch. We just
Yeah,
gotta have you know, we
yeah,
just gotta have some cool images.
yeah.
We gotta do one of these in person, actually. We gotta do one of these in like,
We
are you
should.
going to Mexico in December?
I'm not going to Mexico now.
You're not going? Oh,
No,
bro. We could have
I
met
know.
up and done an episode.
That would be good.
What if we did a podcast with like 8 people, bro? Just like a like
Yeah,
news anchor style. Like four
yeah,
on this side, four on this side.
it'd
We're
be
all
good.
just talking shit. High ticket sales is dead. The recession's gonna kill it. No, it's gonna be the biggest industry ever.
On that, do you think the recession? Do you really think the recession is a big deal for salespeople, or do you think
Bro,
no?
it's nah, bro. Especially in this industry, because we're remote, we can go on
Yeah,
any offer, bro.
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna affect us at all. I think it's gonna really fuck with people that are working regular jobs.
yeah.
Um, but no, I think we'll be fine.
Here's my take on it. I think that it's going to mess with people who are just kind of dipping their toes in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. No, if you're not good, if you're not good, if you're not making 6 figures, if you don't have a network, like you're fucked.
Yeah,
You know?
I think those itty bitty offers, it's going to mess with business owners who aren't for real about their craft too. I think it's going to weed out some of the nonsense, which is
Yeah.
great for our industry.
Oh,
But I
dude,
think
yeah.
that those who are doing it are going to do it and do it well.
100%, bro. To anybody watching, the Challenger Sale, great book. You should read it.
Yeah.
He talks about it. Like the best salespeople are challengers, and they'll thrive in any economy. Like, and when things get hard, every other like kind of salesperson kind of disappears. And challenger just means like you're somebody who's willing to ask uncomfortable questions, somebody who's willing to, you know what I mean, just willing to like be real and really hone his craft. And so that's not the exact definition. Don't judge me, but
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. I think yeah, I think it's probably going to be a pretty big one. Like it like potentially collapse of entire countries,
Mhm.
but I don't know, bro. Like I think you know what I think is going to happen. I think that the recession, which is probably fucking manufactured by man. I've lost faith at this point. But I think the recession, the way it's going to work is it's going to lead into more control, less rights, food shortages, and then it's going to be like a social credit thing where it's like, hey, like you only get water 3 days, 3 days, 3 days a week at these times. We're saving water. It's for the environment. It's for your neighbor. We're trying to be safe with our resources. You can't travel carbon emitting, you can't do this, you can't use the bank, I just think it's going to get more and more restrictive for
You
the
think it's
typical
gonna get that
person.
bad?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. It's
Yeah,
happened.
I agree with
It's
this.
happening all over the world, bro. And there's
Yeah,
indicators
yeah,
of it. So I think that's what's coming. I don't know if that's going to be in the next year or two, but I do think that was probably 50 years away pre-pandemic. With the pandemic, everything's been accelerated in terms of those things. Um, if you look at the way even kids are being educated nowadays as opposed to 3 years ago, it's completely different. I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2016. I never heard anything about like kids changing their genders or like all the the crazy hair stuff wasn't really a thing. It barely was. Like all this stuff is new and it came from an event that it has so many holes in it. It's ridiculous. So um I feel like the next recession uh might be another vehicle for that to accelerate where I don't know, maybe in 5 years we're in that situation, and if you're working a regular job, I pity you.
yeah. It's an interesting take. I mean, I honestly haven't thought too much about it to form an opinion like that, but I mean, I can definitely see things being different for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's just the direction things are headed. That could happen in 50 years. It could be completely turned around by new leadership and just not happen at all. Just my opinion
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think it's good to have certain things though, like knowledge of certain things, because I think that drives a certain level of urgency, right?
yeah, for sure.
Most people's issues in this space is they just don't have urgency.
Yeah,
It's easy to get
yeah.
comfortable though. Super easy,
It's so easy to get comfortable. It's like designed. Life is designed to get comfortable.
especially when you can just sit on a chill offer, bro.
Yeah,
Make 5K a month and like 3 or 4 hours a day.
yeah.
You know?
And like one of the things that I liked about Jacqueline's episode and some of the episodes that we've had is
Hmm.
like, okay, so you make 10K a month. Now what?
Right.
How are you setting yourself up to not have to do this forever? And
Exactly.
that's the thing that people miss coming from that 9 to 5, right? Because that
Hmm.
9 to 5, they're like, oh, I do this for 40 years and then boom, I'm done. Right.
Right.
But
Uh,
one of the things that they should carry over is that even doing that, you have an exit plan.
right.
40 years, I'm out, I'm retiring, right? And I'm taking all this money and I'm retiring. It sucks as an exit plan, but it's still an exit plan, right?
Right.
People come into sales and they're like, all right, I'm just gonna find a good offer and I'm just gonna make a bunch of money. Okay, so what's your exit plan? How are you going to accelerate your life? How are you going to retire? How are you going to make this money mean something and not just spend it on like a house, a Bugatti, and like, a bunch of shoes and like all that stuff? Like, that's great. But how are you going to, how are you going to make that money last? How are you going to create that legacy and that generational wealth that you came into sales talking about? You know what I
Don't
mean?
sleep on the Bugatti though, bro. I saw Mo vlogs. He had a blue one. I was like, ooh, no
Yeah, and I
one.
mean that's great. That's great. But he's also got businesses.
Oh yeah, no, he's rich.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I mean? He's
like
got
me spending five
businesses.
bucks.
He's got businesses. He's set for life. But
Hmm.
these salespeople come in and they're making a little bit of skrilla, right? A little bit of
A little
cash,
bit of this, a little bit of that.
and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna start big balling." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Okay, well, what happens when the money's all gone and you
Hmm.
got to pay taxes on all that stuff you were big balling on?" You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, or you've got to now sustain that. You got to pay maintenance fees. You got to do all of these things now. Like, what are you doing to set yourself up? Which is why I think the Jacqueline episode was so fire because she's like, listen, you dummies, like real estate's where it's at. Like,
Hmm.
make some wealth, invest in yourself. And even like Raul was like, yo, we made businesses and we did over 80 mil in our businesses. He's
Hmm.
like, and we're chilling. And I'm like, guys, like that's what you got to be looking forward to. You got to be looking forward to the exit strategy, the dream. Like, yeah, you want nice stuff and that's great, but like, what are you doing to set yourself up for long term?
Hmm. 100%. Oh, that's huge, bro. On that note, don't forget to drop in the comments below.
Yeah,
Who do you guys want on this fucking podcast?
let
This
us
is the
know.
20th episode, and we are looking for people to hunt. So,
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions, anything you want answered, any topics you want discussed, let us know. Hit us up.
yes,
Be
sir.
fun. It's been a fun 20 episodes. We look forward to doing many, many more. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for coming by, watching, listening, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We appreciate you.
Good having you guys. This has been the Sales at Home podcast. Have a good one.
See you.